What's good, everybody? The North Father is here. Hey, yo, like I said before, I say it again. It's always back to the essence. The Tim Norman Sweetie Pie saga. You know what I'm saying? All right, Tim, right now, he's doing the rest of his life in prison, pending appeals, whatever, whatever. But let me tell you something. And I'm going to say this with respect. Some people be like, why you don't go hard? No, you got to go harder. I've done that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I went hard on people talking about them on here. I went hard on Tim before. You know what I'm saying? I even received death threats that I don't know where it came from. I ain't gonna blame nobody from it. You know what I'm saying? But we know where the text messages was traced from. You know, they traced where the person texted from. But I don't want nobody getting in trouble for no stupid shit. So let's get to this here story with respect. Tim, all right. I'm gonna say this because I know Miss Robbie. Shout out to Miss Robbie, but I'm gonna say this. Let me get to it. Tim, you should thank Arthur Shivers for taking care of your son. You should thank him during the time you locked up. Now, me myself, I never wanted my son to call nobody else dad. Me myself, I grew up. I called my step pop's dad for a while. If I said pop or you know what I'm saying, call him by his last name. What's going on, Jones? That's not his last name, but you know what I'm saying. And the reason why you should thank him because you somewhere where truly you have no business being. Yeah, I'm saying this. I know that I wanted to talk to you, Miss Robbie. No disrespect. I know him. He ain't talking to my son. That boy better go ahead on somewhere. He only if he know what's good for him. But I say this with respect, and I say this in my journalistic work, respectfully. While you in prison doing the rest of your life, in there right now, as of right now, somebody else is taking care of your son. Now, me myself, I wouldn't have never stood for that. My oldest son is by somebody else. He used to live right across the street from me, down the block from where I'm at now. But that's where he was born at. Right now, he's on the West Coast. Now he's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? But all my kids know their brothers and sisters. All right. So I never stood for my son having a stepfather because I was in his life. But then again, I was like, after a while, I was like, you know something? That's the way it is. Because in actuality, by law, Biggie Shorty is his stepmother. All right. And when he was young, she helped take on care of him too. So that's the way it be. But this man, even though he has a child by your ex fiance, who's doing very well with herself, and shout out to Jenae. You know, another man's taking care of your son, trying to put him on the right path. And here's the good part: to keep him on the right path to one day be the heir to the sweetie pie's throne. He has to guide him through these times. I know you're gonna talk to your son one day. Your son, y'all gonna reach out to each other, whatever, whatever. And I'm sure you have already. But you sacrificed yourself, bro. Allegedly, and as of right now, you sacrificed yourself for the, you know, I'm not gonna say that, but you sacrificed yourself, and he's next in line. And Charles is not ready to assume that role. Charles got to have his own kid to assume any role in parenthood, and raising other kids, his own kid or whatever. But this man is married to your ex. He has a child from her, and he's in his life. Now, at first, I disagreed on it. There's an old video that I made and showing my disagreement with that. So on that part, I was on your side. But when the dust was settled, this is where it was at. And yes, I was angry. I wasn't trying to violate you, Miss Robbie, anybody in that clan. I ate at that restaurant in September of 2016, coming from a cross-country road trip. We wasn't even supposed to pass through that state. The state above it, we were supposed to put that way. So I took 3-4 hours out of my time, which was well worth it, to make that left and go to the city of the Arch, St. Louis. I was getting that food. That was my only opportunity at that time. I was coming to get it. You was on the West Coast at that time, so I didn't meet you. I met D with the gold fronts. Very nice, man. And I met Michelle, too, if I'm not mistaken. Your dark-skinned cousin. Shout out to all dark-skinned people. Dark-skinned myself. Power to the people. That's right. So I'm saying that to say this. One day, and that's where I give Miss Robbie a hell of a lot of credit. And I'm going to come back there and eat again. And if she's there, I'm going to talk to her. Listen, if you think I try to disrespect you in any way, I didn't. We was all angry at the Andre situation because when it first happened, everybody on the internet was for your family. Even I got old videos from a couple of years ago. I was on YouTube for 2 months. Then my phone broke and I was on there as Be The Realist. And my first video was Sweetie Pies. Everybody was sending their condolences. Your mother got on there and thank you everybody. You know, she threw a hint, you know, I thought she was talking about me. And if she wasn't, I was one of the people she was talking about and I felt damn proud. But I never forget the night when I went to my homegirl crib and she said, Tim and Andre, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking about she talking about somebody in the streets. But she was talking about you. And I know the names and this and that. But then when she said it about 5 times. A tear just rolled down my eyes. I just walked out the house, man. I went and got drunk. And I don't even drink like that. I just went and bought 2 40 ounces of beers and just chugged them both. Had on my little bud. I just went and got effed up. Like I knew y'all. So shout out to you, Tim, man. And if you ever want to talk man to man, we ain't got to talk about the case, nothing like that. If you just want to have somebody to talk to, people have pen pals. We could be phone pals, whatever. Like, yo, man, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Everything good? Yeah, that's good, man. That's good, man. You know what I'm saying? Just help provide you with my spirits just to keep your spirits up. You know? And Arthur Shivers deserve respect. May he continue to keep your son on the right path till he get 18 and he's able to. That's when the grooming process really begins. For Miss Robbie to open that restaurant back up, man, whew, God bless her for that. It took a lot of strength and self guidance and a team sitting down talking to her and providing her with their intel to inspire her to keep it coming, to keep it going. Because after her, who's going to take care of the place? It was supposed to be you. That lady planned on living a long time, man. That lady planned on living a long time. But one day her grandson going to be at the age where his eyes and his brains is sucking in all the information of this franchise because now he knows. He understands, rather. He already knows, but he understands. Because he's almost in that position. And this is where Arthur Shivers keep him on the right path so this young man can stay on the right path and not get in trouble with the law and stuff like that, being in prison. You don't want your son there. Yo, this is the nod, man. Shout out to Arthur Shivers, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tim, too, man. Keep your head up, man. Sweetie Pies is the essence. And that's the way it is. Peace, y'all.